Everyone in the service industry has a story, crazy customers, wild orders, and WTF moments. Do you want to start a tab? The podcast here to bring you those tales from behind the bar. My name's Carl, and today is not my birthday.
My name's Riley, and today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, love.
Thank you.
What do you got planned?
I want to go back and take another nap.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us for this podcast. Riley's taking a nap, so what we like to do when we're not taking naps is we read stories about the hospitality industry, usually off the internet.
Yes.
We discuss it. Is there a hero? Should have been handled differently? Was there an asshole? And then we rate that story 1 through 5, 1 being your average story, 5 being a unique situation that you want to tell anyone and everyone about, or you would like to write it in our Discord.
Yes.
Or not Discord, Jesus Christ, our subreddit. So usually it's just Riley and I, and we like to entertain guests when we can. And today we have an internet guest.
Yes, we do.
We have Billy. He's a fellow bartender. He is the 2023 regional finalist for Patron Perfectionist. And he is a world-class US 2024 top 100 bartender.
As of right now.
Tomorrow is going to be different. Tomorrow you're going to be in the top 30, correct?
Here's to hoping.
I put that shit out this world. So we're wishing luck. So how are you doing today, bud?
Doing good. Kind of funny. Yeah. Find out tomorrow, the next round. And I will not be home to celebrate or mourn with family and friends. I'm actually going to be in Chicago for a couple of days. So we get to celebrate with a bunch of strangers or mourn with a hot tub and a bottle of whiskey.
And there you go. Is this your first time competing in that?
In world class, yes.
Yep. Yeah, this was my first year. I was going to do it last year, but it just didn't work out that time. And then this year I did it too late and I just rushed my recipe and it was not great. So I'm just going to keep doing it. So, but what was your drink? Yeah. Are you allowed to tell us what your drink was submitted for world class?
So yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it was so the first round we had to do a variation or a drink inspired by a classic cocktail. Mm-hmm. And I kind of took the, both the Army and Navy and a whiskey sour and kind of met them halfway. I did I used Bullet Rye, used a orgeat, a acid adjusted grapefruit juice, and a red verjus.
Okay.
And just did kind of a whiskey sour, kind of take Army and Navy kind of like spin, and really wanted to tie it back to those roots with Indiana.
Okay.
Bullet Rye is an MGP product. Mm-hmm. So, it's that Indiana rye. Wanted to bring that all kind of like full circle back to where I currently live. And yeah, that was a drink. We have a really, really rad community of bartenders here in the Indy Metro.
Right.
And we all got together with some former competitors in world class. Mm-hmm. And did a bunch of workshops, and so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, when I submitted that drink when I served that drink to friends, everyone was like, "Yeah, this is absolutely a don't touch it." So,
sweet, nice. That's awesome. Unfortunately, here in Iowa,
me in the top 100.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, here in Iowa, we don't have. Well, at least here in Dubuque, we don't have that type of group of people.
Yeah, our community is 3 or 4 strong.
Right. And it's hard to get all of us to even remotely think about getting together, let alone think about and workshop cocktails.
Right.
I feel like, and I'm speaking for them, but I'm guessing, I don't know if they like to sit down and do R&D together.
Right.
But it's whatever. So anywho's, we'll keep not rambling on. We are an adult podcast who likes to drink adult beverages. And today we have a special treat.
Yes, we do.
You can tell the story why we have this beer and what we're drinking.
My parents went on a road trip to see my sister in Phoenix, and they brought us back Yuengling's Hershey's Chocolate Porter.
And the reason why it's special is we cannot get Yuengling in the Midwest.
Yes.
It's in Kansas City, I heard now.
Uh-huh.
But that's about as close to us, and that's 6 hours away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to do that. What are you drinking today, Bailey?
I am drinking a cinnamon and pear eau de vie highball.
There you go.
That sounds
I
delightful.
just did I just took some Clear Creek pear brandy, infused it with cinnamon. Topped it with some club soda.
Nice.
There you go. Have you tried is it St. George's? It's right in front of you.
Yeah.
St. George's spiced pear liqueur.
Oh yeah, I actually have that on my menu right now in a couple of drinks.
Yeah. So we were just introduced this. Okay. So I don't know if you listened to the episode with John Rowling. He introduced us to that fucking drink or that liqueur.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, it's so good.
Yep.
But all right.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I have a weak spot for pear. And I almost to the point that it's a crutch. I like a lot of drinks. I love the flavor, and
especially when you can get the flavor to come through. A lot of times it's kind of difficult, but when you can do it, it's great.
Mm-hmm. But awesome, bud. Cheers. Thanks for coming on.
I may or may not have also taken a shot of Malort before this. So.
Hey, I gave
you masochist.
So we had we had a party for Riley last night or yesterday actually, and some friends had not had Malort, and I made them all do it. And then my brother, who does not drink, and when I say do not drink, he does not drink. Like it's Bud Light. If he goes out, he does not drink cocktails. I made him do Ferrari yesterday,
and he hated it.
He thought it was okay.
He hated it.
Whatever. So, all right, let's keep this train rolling because I can fucking ramble on till the day I die.
And then I won't get to take my nap. So,
right, because you'd be too busy planning my funeral. All right, so we got on the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? And this says it was posted 16 days ago. So this is a fresh
story.
I was going to say this is going to be a fresh asshole. This is a bidet asshole. The title is from Oh Problems 2. Am I the asshole for not getting drinks at bars with friends? I will never go up to a crowded bar and wait for a drink. It's just not worth it. I'd rather sneak in drinks for way cheaper or give a friend cash to get my drink and pay for theirs. I've gotten to the point where friends just refuse to do it, even though I offer to pay for their drinks too. So I'll decide to just not drink and I'll just hang out instead. Then they will get angry that I'm not drinking with them. Really confused by this. I'm open to the empathy that I could be an asshole for this, but I'm really not sure. Nothing is worse than having to push past people who already have drinks and who are taking up bar space than having that eye contact competition with the bartender and other patrons trying to get a drink. In all honesty, drinking for cheap at home with the same friends has always been more fun. So it's gotten to the point where I know they won't do it and I decide to stay home. I don't really enjoy the bar club scene where it's crowded anyway. I mostly go to socialize with the few people I actually know. Edit. It's also annoying that they refuse to go to the bar where my cousin is the bartender. No matter how crowded it is, I don't have to wait. Am I the asshole?
Oh, there are so many layers to this story because like immediately gut punch reaction. Yes, you're the asshole, but maybe you have sensory issues or maybe you have social anxiety. Maybe like there are a number of reasons why you wouldn't want to do that particular part of the experience. I don't think he's an asshole. Okay. I think his friends are assholes for trying to convince him to do things that make him uncomfortable.
Right. What's your thoughts, bud?
I think the cousin's the asshole, honestly. If he's not having to wait for drinks with the cousin, and the cousin's just skipping over everybody else for him.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I mean, if the friends are pressuring him to go beyond his own comfort zone, then I agree with Riley. Definitely the assholes. I don't think he's the asshole. That's part of going to a bar,
right?
Is having to kind of wade through the ebb and flow of other people ordering drinks or people that already have drinks in hand. That's part of it, but not everybody is comfortable with that.
Right.
And I just want to know how.
Don't think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to know how old this person is.
They're young.
They have to be because
they're definitely young.
Yeah.
Their friends are going to party bars when I'm sure that this person has proposed going to a bar that's less crowded or that has cocktail servers on hand. But his friends want to go to the club.
Right. They're trying to get laid.
Yeah. So
That's where everyone's at.
I'm going to firmly place myself in your friends are assholes, get better friends.
If I had a friend who didn't want to go wait at the bar like everyone else, fine. If they gave me money to pay for my drink and their drink, I would fucking do that every time. No worries.
I would be the designated bar friend.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'll go get drinks. I'll go get the next round.
Right. Yeah. I would do that in a heartbeat. Like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I will immediately become a cocktail server. I will.
Yeah.
I will put on a dress and run drinks all night long and be mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I do get. There would be times when a bunch of us would go out drinking and like one of us wouldn't drink that much, and we just give him a little bit of shit, but like we get it, right? Because either A, he's been on a 4-day bender, is like fucking just brutal, but still just wants to go out.
Right. And he's going outside of his comfort zone to hang out with you.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing things that he viciously does not want to do.
Right.
And you're going to be here and be an asshole to him?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Right.
Get better friends.
Get better friends. And I would say go find a cocktail bar because those places aren't that busy, usually where you have to go stand in line fucking forever, blah, 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 this or that,
Right.
Usually there's a cocktail server that's going to come up, take your order. It's a lot quieter so you can actually socialize with your friends.
Right.
You can probably pay triple the price what he's paying at this fucking dive bar, or not dive bar, but probably club that they're at.
Right. But you're going to get better drinks.
Yeah. So I get it. The only thing that makes him an asshole or a semi-asshole.
When he says sneak in my own drinks.
I sneak in my own drinks.
Yeah.
But, as one guy, whatever. I know people do it all the time. It happens. I can't stop the guy in the back who orders a Coke and puts a little fucking
nip of his flask in it.
Right. Like, what do you do? Right. So have you worked at these type of bars, like dives, club bars before? Or have you always been in the cocktail scene?
He's always been. So I worked for a sports bar that was kind of like a family friendly, like restaurant / sports bar. There's a lot of just beer.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a brewery for a while. I ran the cocktail program for that brewery, and then I work at the place I work at now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's these like kind of like club environments. Like from what it sounds like in the story, it's kind of like high volume, probably a lot of shots, crappy beers,
Captain Cokes, whatever.
Loud music, lots of bodies.
Yeah, lot. Exactly. I haven't worked in any of that. It's never really piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like that kind of volume has never been a thing for me. So no, haven't really experienced that. I don't even frequent spots like that because, again, it's just not my vibe at all.
Yeah,
lots of bodies, loud music.
So I get that way now. I used to go to like a lot of concerts and then festivals. And then the older I've gotten, the more I don't want to go to festivals anymore because I don't want to be around all these people, dealing with them, pushing against them, dealing with that. I just like, I would rather spend my money to go do something else.
I want to sit down.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to pay $12 for a Doll Boy of Budweiser.
Right. And I want to sit down.
So these type of bars are ones I don't really go to anymore. I mean, unless we're meeting like a friend. What?
You're just rambling.
Oh.
I was trying to signal you to stop rambling.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen. But what was I gonna say?
He's trying to say something. He's been purple for like 10 seconds.
No, I'm just laughing along with you guys at this point. Yeah, and Carl and I are both kind of like that Warped Tour age where like that was like the height of our going to festivals. Carl, I'm 44, so we're same age.
Same age. Yep.
At this point, like I go to concerts with my wife, and we stand in the back, and we're like leaning up against a rail somewhere, like begging for somebody to like offer us like a stool or something to sit down.
we buy the seats.
We actually buy seats.
Yeah, we don't stand on the floor anymore. Like we just went and saw Tool in St. Paul, and we bought the furthest away seats because I don't give a shit. I'm just there to watch the light show and hear good music. So, I don't give a fuck.
I'm tired. I'm on my feet all day for 12 hours for work. I don't need to stand up more.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. The OP is not the asshole. He's a semi-asshole for bringing his own drinks, but that's
that is a product. That is to me, that's a dick move for sure. But that is a person adapting to their environment.
True. Absolutely. But his friends are dicks.
I agree.
And like you said, his cousin kind of is a dick, but I would go to this one bar that I knew the bartenders, and they saw me, they would stop what they were doing, give me my shots and my drinks. And I just remember this one guy goes, "Why do you get this over me?" And I told him I'm sleeping with the bartender, and the bartender was male. He goes, "That's what it takes." I go, "Hey man, you got to do what you got to do." And
was that White Star?
No, I'm talking about Mason Dixon when Olivia.
Right.
Yeah. But White Star was the same thing too.
White Star, the one guy would literally stop what he was doing, pour both of you the deepest, dirtiest stout that they had, and they would chug it together before resuming service. As soon as he walked through the door.
Yeah.
When you make it out this way again, you come to my bar. You just tell everybody you're sleeping with the bartender. All right.
Yeah.
you get a free pass.
Woo. All right. Let's go.
Okay.
But no, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Cause I know Indy's not too far from us. So it's like a 7-hour drive, I think.
Yeah.
So, but cool. All right. What do we want to rate this story? We'll start with Riley. So again, 1 being your average. This is a story we hear all the time, or 5. This is a unique situation, and you can do up to 100th. So you can do like a 3.25 or whatever.
I'm going to go. This is a 2.1 for me. Because as bar stories goes, people peer pressuring their friends to go to bars happens every day. This person, it's not a novel experience, but still needs to get better friends.
Yep. All right, Billy, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with maybe a 2.25.
Okay.
I really think, dude or dudette, I guess, needs better friends. Friends seem like if they're peer pressuring them, kind of being dicks about everything. I mean, yeah, that sucks. I mean, at the very least, I would say that the friend group should recognize what's going on and say, hey, well, maybe this week we go somewhere a little bit more low key.
You're right.
Or so and so, right? And they're not doing that. It seems like they're constantly being brought into a situation that is uncomfortable for them, and then being hassled. I wouldn't say it's like, yeah, but also, I mean, we see that all the time, right? I mean, we see people kind of peer pressuring friends to have another drink or another shot or whatever. So right, it's not super out of the ordinary.
Yep, I would say I was agreeing with you guys. I was going to do a 2, so we're right there with you. I bet these are the type of friends that they don't actually hang out unless they all go to bars, right? Like I think we've all had those friends, like, you like hanging out with each other at bars, but anytime you want to like maybe stay at home and chill and play video games or maybe a board game or drink at home, like these are the people you do not hang out with. That's why they never want to do it. It's like the stereotypical friends from college situation where we just kind of revert back into what we used to do. Yeah. Maybe if this guy listens, or like you said, if this person listens to this podcast, my hint is when you go to the bar, you go through that crowd, order 5 drinks. I would order, if I was back when I was like in my mid-20s, I had to do this. I would order 5 Captain and Cokes. So I didn't have to come up every 30 minutes and wait fucking forever. And if you're ordering Captain and Cokes, it doesn't matter if it gets watered down. Exactly. Because it's already trash. Exactly. So if you have a story similar to, go ahead. Sorry.
Listen, that's where you say, hey, I'm buying the next round and it's all a round for you. So yeah, right. You're sitting there with 5 drinks. Don't let the bartender know that, but
absolutely. So if you have a story similar to this and you want to share it, just like Billy did a couple weeks ago on our subreddit, do you want to start a tab? The link for it is in the description of any podcast player you're listening to. We'd love to hear it. Or if you want to verbalize your story, 563-277-0072. And we'd love for you to leave up to a 3-minute voicemail so we can play it on our podcast and discuss it. I'm still waiting for a play-by-play. Maybe that's what I'll do. A live play-by-play. I'm going to drive to Indy. I'm going to get there's going to be a huge crowd and I'm going to cut through everyone. And I'm just going to have the phone on speaker. So when someone asks, why did I get cut? I just tell them I'm sleeping with the bartender and see what happens. Well, now we already heard that story. So we don't know what that person's going to say.
That's true. You might get punched in the face.
Yeah,
It'd be
exactly.
entertaining as fuck to listen
Exactly,
to.
right? But
I've got the spots to take you guys, but we'll have fun. We'll have a lot of fun.
all right, sir. Do you have a story you'd like to share with our lovely audience?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, outside of the story I shared on the subreddit a couple of weeks ago, when I first started getting back into bartending, I was working for a small kind of chain that was like a sports bar, kind of pub, family friendly type of deal. One night, woman comes in with a date. They're having a good time. Everything's super, super cool. Like everything, the two of them are totally vibing, enjoying the night. And all of a sudden, the mood between the two of them just shifts to super uncomfortable and awkward. We've all seen this at the bar. It turns out that the guy that had just walked in and sat completely at the other end of the bar, so it was a horseshoe-shaped bar. So this dude is like opposite side of the bar. Is this woman's ex-husband.
Oh no.
So she's on a date. He walks in, and he's a regular. He would come in every single day that I worked and just gin and sodas all day long.
Oh, that explains why he was an ex.
Because he's at the bar all the time.
Exactly. Nice guy. I mean, I've had no issues with this dude.
Sure.
So he starts running his mouth.
Ooh.
And I would be, I'd be working, I'd be serving them, and he'd be like, "Hey Billy, let me get this," and he'd start yelling across the bar and just basically just being a douchebag at this point. So about a half hour, 45 minutes goes by, and in walks this woman I've never seen in my life, and she sits down next to him. And they start running their mouths and chirping and kind of yelling things over and just being obnoxious. And so I'm kind of helping the original couple, the two that are on their date. And she goes, "So that's my ex-husband. And that is the woman he cheated on me with."
Oh.
Turns out she's a local attorney. But yeah, so I had to navigate that one that night. And finally at the point I had to go have a conversation with him. I was like, "Look, dude, I can't have this.
Right.
I get it. There's history. There's a whole thing here. It's not happening at my bar. You can leave, or you can just knock it off.
You can leave, or you can be a grown up."
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah. This isn't high school.
Right.
And it's middle-aged men. There's middle-aged couples. They're our age, so like you'd fully expect them to be able to
behave,
act as such. Yeah, but he just kept chirping. She was getting uncomfortable. They find the original couple finally leaves, but then to throw it all back, the two that the ex and the mistress and all that are still there. Well, she walks back in after the date and sits down across the bar. And I don't know what the intent was there. Like I asked her, I was like, "Hey, I get it. Things are kind of, there's some tension there, whatever. Come back for I mean, our buffalo mac and cheese was good, but I mean, are you coming back for that? What are we doing here?
Are you back for the buffalo mac, or are you here for the drama?"
Right.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, it's not as fun of a story as the Let's Go Brandon guy, but this was my re-entry back into the service industry after several years out of it. So it was definitely like, how are we navigating this one? And this is 2020, so 2021. So we're coming out of COVID.
Oh wow.
It was all a thing.
Well, that's a spicy little meatball.
That really is.
Especially that's kind of like kicking the nuts to you. Okay, I've been out of the game for a couple of years or whatever. Get back into it, like, fuck, this is kind of why I left bartending. Or, but that's, but it's interesting though that this woman would go to the bar that she knows her ex-husband would go to on a regular basis. So it's like, is she doing it on purpose? Right? Because like,
that's a very masculine perspective of that problem.
Yeah, I really don't know that she knew that, because she was visibly uncomfortable. when he walked in.
Okay.
So it completely changed the dynamic. I think, we were a fairly popular like chain of like sports bars in the Indy metros. So it just very well may be that she just popped in to.
I mean, it could have been her date suggestion too.
Her date probably suggested it too.
Yeah.
Like, let's go to X bar.
Right.
So yeah,
maybe he knew.
Maybe
the date knew.
he's just like, how do I get out of this date? Oh yeah, I will suggest to go to the bar where her ex-husband frequents quite a bit. Man, so I'm trying to put myself in the ex-husband's shoes. Not to relate, but I'm just saying, like, if you and I got a divorce and I went into a bar that I like to go to and I saw you on a date with someone, what would I do?
You'd chirp, but you would chirp in a friendly way. Like, you'd try to be best friends with my date is what you do. Yeah.
I guess it depends. Why are we divorced, right? Did like one of us cheat on the other to get a divorce?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
No, it's absolutely something you're going to do. You're going to be at fault. So you're going to be trying to get back in my good graces.
Go punch the guy you're on a date with. Fuck you. Fernando's better.
Well, and I mean, so statistically, after a divorce, women feel relief overwhelmingly. Like when you look at divorce and why people get divorced and then what happens afterwards, she was probably just trying to live her best life now that she didn't have this douchebag attached to her. I'm assuming he's a douchebag because he would drink every day and then also he cheated on her. So I feel like douchebag is appropriate. And he is probably super pissed because even sad probably because he lost the person who took care of everything in his life and now he needs to figure that shit out. I don't know. He's the asshole for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Now, do you think he texted the woman he cheated on with, like his mistress, to come in, or do you think they were already planning on meeting each other there?
No, he 100% went outside, had a smoke, and called her. I watched him do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he was even that
100%.
He instigated even more.
He was being more petty.
Yeah.
Like that is pettiness to the max. Especially calling the person that you cheated with to upset your ex-wife. Fuck you, dude.
Hey, homewrecker, I got some. You want some more fun? Come in. I'll buy you a couple drinks and we can talk shit to my ex.
Man, you're a better person than me. I probably would have punched him.
But it kind of sucks because it's like, as bartenders, you kind of have to let some stuff go, right? Because it's really none of your business of what's going on, right?
Yeah, but he made it there. He made it his business.
I'm getting there. But like things like this, when you want to make sure that the tone of your bar is going the way the bar wants their tone to be, right? So like if they're chirping, making other customers feel uncomfortable and this and that, and it's like, okay, guys, like you can go outside, talk about this, or like you said, shut the fuck up or leave,
Right.
So, but did anything else happen? Not that made the same night, but like, did you hear any other drama about this?
I never saw her again, which really sucks because leading up to that point, she seemed really cool. He kept coming in and he even brought the mistress in a couple more times. But, at the end of the day, the dude was actually a pretty good regular. Like he would come in a few times a week, always tipped well, like was never a problem up until this moment. So like I had that rapport with him where I literally could be like, dude, you need to shut the fuck up.
Right. Like, I wonder how fresh the divorce was.
It was probably a few years.
Okay. So it wasn't fresh.
Right.
No, it definitely wasn't a fresh breakup there.
That makes it worse.
At the same time, it totally does. I agree with you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. You did the right thing, obviously.
Yeah.
You kind of let it play out because maybe it'll just fizzle itself out, right? But like it just keeps going after like 15, 20 minutes or something like that. Okay. But
yeah.
What?
I let it go on for, I let his interruptions go on just long enough to the point where it was like, okay, clearly there is history here. Yeah, it was not apparent at first. It was like, because he never really said anything. I'd be grabbing them drinks or grabbing them something, just even talking to them, and he'd be like immediately like, And it wasn't even that like that cliche like snapping the fingers like, hey Billy, can I get a refill or can I get another drink or what, yelling across the bar. Until finally it was like, I took him a drink and he was like, oh yeah, that's my ex. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Right.
I don't I'm not there to get all I'm not there to get all up in your drama. I don't care what the hell's going on. And I went back, over and talking to her. She's like, yeah, he's my ex. He cheated on me, blah, 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 whatever. And, the poor dude that was on the date, man, I feel for him more than anything.
Right.
Kind of got sucked all into it. So.
Man. He's like, shit, I'm not getting any tonight. Fuck.
He's like, well,
yeah.
The mood is ruined.
Yeah. He wished he swiped left. All right. So what would you like to rate your own story? We want our guests to rate their own story, because it's part of the fun.
Right.
I would give it a 3.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to give it a 3 is we deal with relationship drama at the bar a lot.
Absolutely.
We all see it. There's, couples fighting, couples on first dates, whatever. But this was clearly unique in that there was a level of randomness to it. She's just there on a date. Ex-husband walks in and immediately everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the fact that he called the mistress in and was like, hey, let's give her some shit and brought her into it all.
See, I was going to rate the story 2.5, but when he brings in and goes out, smokes and calls her to come into the bar, that is definitely a half a point extra for that, because that is saucy. Like, that is just petty bullshit that doesn't need to happen. And like, let's relive the shittiest part about my life. Let's relive the shittiest part of my ex-wife's life with bringing you in.
Right.
And dealing with that.
So you're going to go a solid 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to have to give me a minute because I got to build this one. I was going to say a 4.2.
Okay.
But because that, I realized that was probably a little bit extreme for this scenario. However, I'm going to go 3.8.
Okay.
Because I think the layers need to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
The first layer is the coincidence that they both showed up at the same time.
Right.
The second layer is that a good customer turned into a shitty customer because one other person was in the bar.
Right.
The third layer is how petty he was to bring in the woman that he cheated with. And then she showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the ex-wife came back. So there's like 5 different layers of fuckery.
Right.
That it just, when compounded, it makes for a great story. So yes, 3.8. I'm going to stand there firm.
You just need to be the judge of all of this and like have a ruling. The story's this number. Final say. But no, her coming back, it's like she still hasn't let it go, or he hasn't. They both haven't really let it go and moved on.
Like you talking about the best. Okay, so from a woman's perspective, if my ex-husband, if I had one, were to show up in a bar that I was at with my date and then to actively sabotage my date, I'm going to go back and I'm gonna make his night just as bad.
But did she do that? Did she just sit at the bar?
Her sitting there was that.
Okay.
Because obviously it ruined his day to have her there enough to the point where he called the woman he cheated with to come sit with him.
Right.
Like he was going to be there for a good time, do his regular thing. And then he decided to go out of his way and it brought him down enough to be petty. So then I'm going to be petty back. And I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just going to be here and I'm going to ruin this spot for you right now.
Okay. So did she do anything when she got back?
No, she came back and she sat there, had a couple more drinks, just, and occupied my time.
Sure.
If nothing else, she occupied my time. And once I knew what was going on, it was a lot easier for me to say, all right, dude, you're on timeout.
Right.
I'm not going to allow you to affect everything else.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so, yeah, he was placed on timeout, and I still served him in timely manners, but he didn't get the privilege of, hey, Billy, let me get this, or, and it wasn't even the snapping of the fingers, but that kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He no longer had that power.
Right.
Because I knew what was going on.
And that's
so
why she went back.
Yeah.
She knew that her presence was affecting him.
Yeah. I will say that her going back gave her back that power, because she was able to say, all right, you did not affect me.
I get
sure,
that.
You may have fucked up my date.
Right.
But I'm still here.
But obviously.
And the bartender is clearly on my side at this point.
Right.
Because he's not allowing you to fuck things up.
Right. It's you didn't fuck up my night, but I can tell that me being here is fucking up yours. So
totally
grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Grow up or leave or figure it out, because I'm going to sit here. I love it. I'm here for that.
Yeah, no, that's the story. Like I said, like I tell people all the time, like a lot of people, our guests, like have like this one primo story, which, your subreddit one. Because when I messaged you about being on, you're like, oh, I'll just read my subreddit story. I'm like, no, have a different story. Let's read your subreddit as one story. Then you can come and be on. And I think it is just a story that everyone needs to hear, because like it happens all the time. This is why that's why we're known as therapists. We have to handle and deal with fucking children.
Yes. Like in this situation, you were a divorce court mediator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that bartenders wear many hats. Therapist is a common one.
Mm-hmm.
Whipping boy is often a common one too, but divorce court mediator is up there.
Absolutely.
I wish we got paid like therapists and mediators.
Right. But at least
you don't have to deal with insurance. So there's that.
And also we don't have, we don't have this. Well, okay. Some of us don't have the student loans it takes to become a therapist,
that's a fact.
So because Riley would always tell me, she would sit at the bar sometimes, not even talk to me, just to listen to me or read a book or do whatever, just for drinks. And she goes, you use my degree more than I use my degree. And she has a degree in psychology.
Yeah.
So, but awesome, bud. We appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk with Billy about his bartending career, how he got started, and why the fuck he moved from California to Indiana for. And yeah, is there anything you want to plug for people to come check? Where do you, like, if you want to tell them what bar you work at or your Instagram or anything like that?
So if you're in the India Metro, West Fork Whiskey, Stave Cocktail Lounge, it's inside our new distillery in Westfield. All of our whiskeys are Indiana distilled.
Okay.
We do have two different lines. The West Fork stuff we distill in house. We do have a line that we source from MGP, but it is available in stores around the area. So outside of that, come on in, have some drinks. Our lounge is literally geared towards like craft cocktails.
Nice.
And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's circle.city.cocktails.
Sweet.
Follow the podcast.
Awesome.
All the links will be in the description of this episode. So if you want to check out, in case you don't remember what bar he works at, will be in there, because I already forgot the name. And that's just my bartender remembering is horrible. And just remember, don't be a dick, tip your bartenders, and drink responsibly. And thank you for being on.
Yes.